you know what it is. We back at it again. I'm going to get right into it. Big fight on Saturday night. Earl Spence Jr. versus Yordenis Ugas to unify the belts, the WBC, WBA, and IBF welterweight titles, 147 pounds. Man, big fight. Yo, action packed on the undercard, action packed on the main event. Just a great night overall. And Earl Spence Jr. stops Yordenis Ugas in the 10th round by TKO. Closed the right eye up. Yo, kudos to both fighters. Big props for Ugas for testing Spence. Big props for Spence for stepping up after the eye injury and coming out and showing what type of fighter and what type of man he is. I was highly impressed. I'm going to go into my notes real quick, round by round. So first round, a nice feel out round. Spence came out throwing jabs, trying to work the body just a tad bit, seeing what Ugas was made of. And my notes here, Ugas had some strong counters to some of the things that Spence was doing, and he had really good body work. So I gave the first round to Yordenis Ugas. Second round, Earl Spence, he responded back. He landed some good combos, but it looked like Ugas was standing right in front of him. Didn't seem too phased. Looked like he was just kind of feeling Spence out, seeing what his power felt like, seeing what combos he liked to throw, and he seemed comfortable. But I gave the second round to Spence. Third round, I liked some of the things that Spence was doing. I liked some of the work he was doing. He was starting to go to the body just a little bit, but really like searching up top with a jab and then come to the body here and there. But I thought Ugas stole around at the end. He had a lot of counter hooks for some of the work that Spence was doing. And Spence, as good as he is, the defense needs to tighten up because he got hit with a lot of clean shots. And I thought Ugas stole that round, so I had a 2-1 Ugas at that point. Rounds 4 and 5 I had for Spence. Not necessarily dominant rounds, but I thought that he had the more effective punches. He controlled the action. He was controlling the ring. Not dominantly, but he looked like he was starting to try to establish himself there. So I had it 3 rounds to 2 for Spence after 5 rounds. 6th round, that was a very eventful round here because they were having some good back and forth, and then in the middle of that round, Spence got hurt. Ugas caught him, I believe it was with a right hook or right uppercut, caught him flush, knocked Spence's mouthpiece out. And you don't see this often, if ever. Spence, not out of fear or desperation, it was almost robotic. He turned and looked down to the ground to see his mouthpiece and then focused on his mouthpiece and then went to go pick it up. Almost like he forgot he was in a fight. It was bizarre. And then Ugas came over and hit him with 2 more punches and sent him flying into the ropes. Now, that wasn't somebody that was fearful. It was just somebody, a lapse in concentration that you just, I've never quite seen that. But yeah, he was fortunate not to get knocked down and really hurt in that round. Ugas won that round because of that. I had it tied 3-3 going into the 7th round. And then in the 7th round, it seems as though Earl Spence got upset because of what happened. He came out and immediately got aggressive, tried to jump on Ugas, and it worked. He came out, had a very strong round, heavy pressure, big combinations, landed nice shots, and he controlled the round and swung momentum for the first time for either of those fighters in that fight. And then going into the 8th round, another strong round. He built upon round 7 and had heavy pressure, big combinations. And then round 9, Ugas responded back. I think his corner talked to him. He said, look, well, not he, but they said, look, what are you thinking? How are you feeling? Are you tired? So on and so forth. What are you thinking about? So Ugas came out, and I thought that Earl Spence had strong body shots. Well, he had strong shots, but Ugas came back with some strong body shot counters against Earl Spence. When he would miss, he would go to that. He went with that right hand. He's orthodox. He went right hand, uppercut right to the gut. At least 5 to 7 times in that round. Punches that made me feel it through the screen. So he came back. He responded very, very well. I still gave the round to Spence, but I thought it was a swing round. And it was a very strong round for both fighters. But at that point, I had it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds to 3 for Spence. And then again, going into the 10th round, and the swelling was happening in the eighth round. The doctor pulled Ugas aside in the seventh or eighth round in the middle of the round to check the eye. It was starting to swell, and then in the ninth round, you start really starting to swell, and then in the 10th round, um, Spence he was still going after that eye. He started throwing jabs in the ninth round and continued into the 10th round, focusing on the jab to the right eye, and then the eye started closing up, and then the referee called a halt to the action, sent Ugas over to his corner, and the doctor checked his right eye again and said, "That's it, he can't continue." And you know what? That was a good stoppage, a good call, because look, we have a lot of fights where fighters are allowed to go too far, the corner or the ref doesn't stop it, and you have long-lasting damage that didn't need to happen, right? So I was happy when the fight was called, and today Yordenis Ugas put up a post. It was him and I believe his fiance in the hospital. He was in good spirits, and he confirmed that he had a fracture in his right eye, so it's good that it was caught early, so he's able to get treatment and surgery. He's going to be able to sit there and repair it versus having something crazy happen. And Earl Spence, hey, that's just proof positive that he hits hella hard, thudding punches, and he got the job done. So, props to Earl Spence for unifying the belts. That's a big deal. This is the 12th unification bout, I believe, in history at the 147-pound weight class in the 4-belt era. So he unified the WBC, WBA, and IBF welterweight titles, and he called out Terrence Crawford in the post fight. Terrence Crawford has the WBO belt, so we'll see if this fight happens. I would love to see that. Earl Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford for a unification bout. The first unification of 4 belts in the 4-belt era. That would be history. That would set precedent. And that would be the biggest challenge to date. So, hey, let me know what you guys thought of this fight. Let me know what you thought of it. Pros, cons. What do you think is going to happen next? And if you're looking forward to other fights as well. The Kambosos fight versus Devin Haney, that's going to be a big one, as well as Canelo Alvarez versus Dimitri Bivol coming up in the next 1 to 2 weeks. I can't remember if what the exact date is, but it is upon us soon, people. That's going to be a big fight at 175. Bivol is the title holder there, so Canelo's trying to make history. So we'll see what happens there. A lot of big things happening in boxing. Let me know what your thoughts, comments, concerns, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.